Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Zimbabwe is a failed state, and our problems, our economic problems in particular, are getting worse and worse. The other day, I started the discussion with the prediction of Ian Douglas Smith, former Prime Minister of Rhodesia, who said in 1975 that if blacks ruled themselves, the nation, the people will be walking on sewage and think it's normal. I showed a few photographs of sewage flowing in the streets, flowing on walls, and so forth. Today, following that up with even more disappointing stories of the tragic situation in Zimbabwe. This is a picture of Lake Chivero, which is the main, one of the two main suppliers of water to the city of Harare. There were reports that fish were dying. And as we can see there, dead fish. Animals were drinking from Lake Chivero also were dying. And the main reason for it is sewage. We've had sewage now leaking into the main water system supplying the people of Harare, and there are millions of them. So now it's not a question of people walking on sewage, they're drinking sewage.
Okay. Taura. Iri ndo tengi redu rekudhara iri rataifamba kudhara. Apa pakatsemuka apa ndo pakanyorwa naTarzan zvaanga akanyora zvezvo ndo pakabva patanga kutsemuka. Saka iri rimwe racho iri tengi iri kari inyuwani but ratotsemuka futi harina time. Saka mvura yese iri kurasa kupinda muinodonhera mamukwisi iri kuyerera ibva inopinda mamukwisi mvura izvi. Ndo situation yatinayo kuno kuLas Vegas. Dhara zvidza zvakanaka zvateedzesa hazina kana munhu akuni zvangobvaruka bvaruka ndo zviripo kuno kuGoli.
This is tragic, Benjamin.
Good day to you, and good day to all viewers. This is just a sad sight, and it actually now explains further why you find the animals and fish are now dying, because this is raw sewage in its pure form going into tributaries and eventually going into lakes. You know, ah, it's absolutely disgusting. You know, Oh, and to think about it, all that we needed to do was just maintain. It's not as if we were starting from ground zero. We inherited some of these things. All we just needed was maintain. But nobody took care of these things. Now they're in such a dilapidated state. You cannot fix anymore. All you just need to do now is start from ground zero. It's really sad, man, and pathetic. I mean, you know surely government cannot explain how and justify how they left, this to get to this state. It's really, really sad.
Well, this is a government that is used spending fortunes on trinkets, if you want, attractive things. This regime has spent millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars, every year on vehicles for the chefs. What we are seeing here is a fleet of new pickups bought for the police. A few weeks later, a similar number of pickups were bought for the army. And then we know that the regime is known for buying fleets of vehicles for the chiefs, the traditional leaders, to say nothing of the ruling elite themselves. So it's not as if the country does not have the money. It has the money. It's just that we're spending it on the wrong things. And we've got a knack for spending it on luxuries. It's hard to see how we are going to get out of this one, Benjamin.
You're right there. It's pretty hard, especially when we have given absolute power. We have made those in high positions, to appear as if they are demigods. They are not accountable to anybody. They can do as they please, and now they've realized that they can actually get away with it. They are doing that. It's all about lack of accountability, and we are doing ourselves no favor in this. I mean, if a situation like that happens, we should be able to go to council. Whoever is managing council, we're supposed to go there and show them that this is what is happening and demand. It is our right, because each and every person is paying their rates. I mean, how can you be paying for a service that you're not receiving and be content with it? And let me remind you, these councils are not run by ZANU-PF. These councils are run by Triple CMDC. And they can say ZANU-PF is starving us of finances. But look at the cars they are driving. Are they starved of finances? No, they are not. Where they are living, are they starved of finances? Their children, are they starved of finances? No, they are not. So, we have failed ourselves. If we look at the big picture, we have failed to to demand accountability from whoever holds a public office. They are accountable. They are our employees. But no, we will sing praise. We would protect them, create a good picture about them, yet they are the ones that are messing up infrastructure that was there before. It's sad that we have failed to realize this ourselves. We have failed ourselves, and now we are living it because of us.
Well, here's a short clip of Margaret Thatcher talking to that very point of poor leadership, bad governance.
Countries are not rich in proportion to their natural resources. If they were, Russia would now be the richest country in the world. Angola would be very rich, and there are many other countries that have a lot of natural resources, but they have not had an enterprise economy to develop those resources. Russia has everything: oil, gas, diamonds, platinum, gold, silver, timber, marvelous soil, but has been poor. She's also, on the second point, got very bad environment. the Aral Sea. I remember going to one communist country in about the 60s and seeing a power coming out of a chimney of brown gas, which of course is a nitrous gas. And I was absolutely horrified. I said, well, what are you doing letting that happen? The lungs of the people must be terrible. This is acid. You can't let that go on. Tact has never been my strong point, as you know. And it is the countries that have had the wrong system, which have not created the wealth, have not cared about people. Look at the other side. Japan, no natural resources. Switzerland, no natural resources. Taiwan, no natural resources. It is the political system which enhances the enterprise of the people and gives it a framework within which to operate, which will deal with this poverty.
I'll just add to that Zimbabwe in 1980 had the potential of becoming the South Korea of Africa. We had the infrastructure. We had the people well-trained, well-educated, and most important of all, we had the resources. So the potential was absolutely unbelievable. And yet, look at us today. We are one of the poorest countries in the whole region, all because of bad governance. So we go back to what Ian Smith was saying. He predicted that people will be walking on sewage and think it normal. And yet, today, people are drinking sewage and think it normal. There is something sickeningly wrong with us, and we have to address it. And we cannot turn our backs on the reality on the ground. This is not normal at all. The tragedy of Zimbabwe is not normal. We can solve this problem, and we must.
And the only way to solve our problem is by stopping ourselves from participating in rigged elections. Nothing will change. Believe me, we've done this before. I mean, 44 years of ZANU-PF rule has led us to this. 24 with this so-called opposition, MDC, CCC, has led us to this situation. So we are settling for less. We need, I mean, we have to be, serious and look towards the future. Imagine participating in the 2028 election. And of course, ZANU-PF will win those elections because they are going to rig. And we are going to see this or even worse until 2033. If you are not scared for the future, then I don't know what will frighten you. I mean, this is a sad picture to see fish, animals. Humans have been dying. Cholera has been all over Zimbabwe, developing all over countrywide. It's just that it's not yet gone full blown, but it's there. Are we going to wait until it's full blown and people are dying as flies for us to realize that, we need to put an end to this? We need to change our ways of thinking. Nobody will do this for us. We cannot continue waiting for other countries to come and fix our toilets. Come on, we have to be, bigger than that. As a country, we need to hold those that are in office accountable, for their actions and whatever their service delivery. Without that, we are really in trouble. So I believe the onus is on us as Zimbabweans to put our house in order and force those in public office to come around as well.
Well, I totally agree with you. The people must realize that we can complain all we want. We can point fingers at ZANU-PF, at the opposition and the councillors and so forth. But at the end of the day, if we cannot hold them to democratic account, and the only democratic account that is left here is to vote them out of office. We've failed to do so for the last 44 years because ZANU-PF rigged the elections. And so it resolves everything goes around that problem. As long as ZANU-PF is able to rig the elections and stay in power, nothing will change. I will leave the last word on this issue to Dr. Nevas Mumba, talking about free, fair, and credible elections. That has to be ultimately the focus, the solution to Zimbabwe's economic, political, and social problems. Free, fair, and credible elections.
Said to me, Mr. Vice President, go on behalf of SADC, and all I expect from you is to help to give the Zimbabweans a free, fair, and credible election. Those are the only, he said it twice. I need nothing from you, Mr. Vice President, but free, fair, and credible election. You would have done your job. When I was in Zimbabwe, and we were on our way to go and see President Mnangagwa to pay a courtesy call on him, I contacted the president here, President Hakainde Hichilema. I said, Mr. President, we are going to see your colleague. Do you have a word for him? Any greeting, whatever? He said, no. The only thing you tell my colleague is that let's go ahead and give the Zimbabweans a free, fair, and credible election. He repeated the same words. So there was one.
The solution to the leaking sewages that is flowing on our walls, that is flowing into our rivers, into our dams. The solution to Zimbabwe's chronic problem of bad governance, of wastage of resources, buying luxuries, is that we hold free, fair, and credible elections. The immediate target is to make sure 2028 elections, we cannot get ZANU-PF to implement any reforms. And we cannot stop Chamisa and company participating. But what we can do is stop Zimbabweans participating, deny ZANU-PF legitimacy, and SADC will deny the regime legitimacy. It is that simple. Thank you very much, Benjamin. And to those who were able to join us, thank you again for joining us tonight. And I hope we'll be able to do it again, 6 o'clock UK time, 8 o'clock Zimbabwean time. Good night.
Good night.